Amazing. Very relieved. A lot of pressure coming into this fight. I rate Joshua Kim a lot. I respect him a lot. He's a very good opponent. And like I said, the perfect opponent to make a contender series debut against. And yeah, it couldn't have gone better. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, like you said, a dangerous opponent, right? I mean, he showed some things in there as well. Did anything surprise you in there at all, or did it play out kind of as you expected?
His range surprised me quite a lot. We knew he was going to be so dynamic and he's going to move well, come with fiery kicks and very awkward style. But how well he moved, that surprised us quite a lot. So luckily we could have made the adjustments after that second round and get the finish.
Great fight, highlight reel finish. I mean, once it's done, I mean, pretty much in your head, you know, like that's a guarantee.
There was still like a little bit of a question mark just because of my age. So, but my head coach Mornay Visser, you know, he was happy. So I was happy. My team was happy. So I was happy with my performance. And then once he said we got that contract, that was also a massive sign of relief.
Dana kind of talked about it, you know, the younger fighters are just better now because they're starting younger, you know what I mean? Maybe you got to start looking at younger guys, but I just wonder for you, I mean, like mentally at your age, is it difficult to process, like, I'm at the highest level of this sport now? Is that difficult to wrap your head around a little?
No, not at all. You know, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. When it comes to my team, Team CIT back in South Africa, those are the guys that I look up to, I turn towards for knowledge and guidance in the sport. So, you know, I am very fortunate to have giants around me. So it makes it much easier. I started the sport at 12 years old. I moved to CIT when I was 14 years old. And, you know, they've been my second family for close to a decade. So, yeah, it's great.
Did you get to slip in a workout at the PI yet? Are you heading over there after? Or how does that work?
I really hope they're still open because I want to keep my word, but I think they close at 6, so I'm not sure. I don't know.
Are you going with this future nickname? I mean, when the boss gives you a nickname.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna have to ask my team. You know, like back in South Africa, they call me MSP. It has a Afrikaans reference as well, but so we'll see. We'll decide once we get back home.
Lastly for me, I'm sure you want to celebrate this moment a bit, but ideal scenario for UFC debut. I mean, are there names that you want? Are there dates that you want? Locations that they know the UFC is going? Like, what's the ideal scenario for the debut?
No names, no dates. I'll chat to my manager to see what we can arrange. It would be great if I can do it with my teammate Dricus du Plessis on the same card. That would be absolutely amazing. Then the whole Team CIT can go take over that card.
Hey, Cameron.
Hi.
Do you think you're going to feel pressure being the youngest fighter in the UFC now? Like, now everyone's going to be like, oh, like, they're going to know you as the youngest fighter. Like, does that come with pressure?
Since I started my pro career, there's always been pressure. You know, I turned a pro when I was 18 years old, and back in my country, there was a lot of resistance from the community because of that, and that almost just fuels the fire we have. I'm gonna up my work rate. It's already, I think, quite high. We're gonna try and better it, be more professional, get in more sessions, and be absolutely ready for that debut.
Speaking of that, did you have your first amateur fight when you were 14 years old?
Yes, that's correct.
How was that?
That was quite weird, actually. It wasn't supposed to happen because it wasn't legal, but yeah, it did. So yeah, we managed to squeeze in a few fights before they told the commission at that stage told us, listen, you can't do this. So.
And then during the fight, you were slapping his back. What was the thought process with that?
Just, we have a very famous calling for that back in South Africa. We call, I'm not going to say it, but it's just to get him to react, and it actually worked quite well. You know, his control was very good on the ground, so using those slaps just to get him moving a little bit, it's a game of inches. So if you give me an inch, I'm gonna use it to get up, and it worked perfectly. That comes from the brilliant mind that is my head coach Mornay Visser, sitting right there. So it's all credit to him.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got to know about these 14-year-old fights. Were you fighting other 14-year-olds or like adults?
At that stage, I think the guy I fought in that debut was maybe 16 or 17. I really can't remember, but yeah, it was more or less that age. Yeah.
How did the fight go exactly?
That's a good question. I think it was my debut as an amateur. I think it was like a third round TKO. The ref stopped the fight after I kicked him in the head. That might have been the second fight. I can't remember. Yeah.
And having fought at that age, would you encourage, or do you think it's okay for kids that age to fight now that you're older and maybe a little wiser?
Of course, there's nothing as strong as an Afrikaans South African, you know. So we also have a great kids program back in South Africa, and we train the kids. Obviously, we do it much smarter than that, but to compete and go through that adversity, I think is great for any child, and it worked out well for me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.